Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Dana, what kind of coffee are you drinking? And Michelle and Auntie D, thank you. Thank you. Um, Hopefully everybody's having or had a great week. And I always forget to turn that off. And it wouldn't be a Sunday night show without starting with technical difficulties. So, what's up, people? Oh my gosh. As you can, I got a little bit of a bedhead here. I took a nap, which is what Sundays are made for, right? And I don't know about you guys. I am so tired of everything that is going on. And the only thing we're going to talk about politically today is vote. Get out and vote. Please vote. It matters. Vote, 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 vote. That's it. It's all we're going to talk about. I mean, all day I've been thinking about tonight's stream, thinking, okay, it's the stream before November 3rd. And you know what? Gosh. I think we're all anxious. We're all going through all kinds of emotions. So, vote. Just vote, 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 vote. Yes, vote for Derek. There we go. Vote for Derek. Write in Derek's name. No, write in, vote for. If you don't vote for one of the two, you're voting against the other. So, but if you live in Oakland and when Derek comes up to run on mayor's ballot, then please vote for him. And that gives me a nice transition. Derek and Addie are our moderators. Please be nice to them. I will argue that they are the best YouTube chat room monitors on the internet. Addie is formerly homeless. Hopefully it will stay that way. And Derek lives in a tent city in Oakland. Last I knew, I say this probably every week. Hopefully it will change. I don't know. So I'm just gonna start off with what's like. I do this every week, right? I come in and I say hello, and then I just speak from the heart. And why should it be any different? So last night, I haven't been sleeping well. I haven't been sleeping well at all. And last night, I forgot to look up something. Yeah, there we go. So last night I couldn't sleep. And when I can't sleep, sometimes I go through YouTube comments and just was looking at comments and statistics. And I ran into Cash's video, which some of you might remember Cash. His real name is Ryan. He donated a song. He is homeless street musician. He donated a song for my 25th sober birthday live stream. Super grateful. Going into it, I thought it was important, being that we highlight homeless people, that we have music from homeless people. I mean, all these other nonprofits are doing these galas with famous musicians and different things. And I just thought it was important. So I reached out to my friend Rebecca, and Rebecca might be in the chat. She's been in the chat before. I've got to interview her. I know I said I was going to. We will get to that. Rebecca runs a online support group for homeless youth. She's amazing. And then Rebecca reached out to her network, and then Cash's sister, Ryan's sister, connected me, and they sent me the video, and I was blown away. And then last night I was going through the comments, and I saw Ryan's mom posted that he overdosed on October 16th. So the first thing I did, because, YouTube is a strange place. The internet is a strange place. And we've had many times people list stuff in the comments that's not true. And we've had many times people list in the comments that somebody died when they didn't die. And then in fact, there was one time when I did it because I was given wrong information, which I've since corrected. And, but anyways, so what I did is I reached out to Ryan's sister first, and then I started searching because I knew Ryan's full name. I only listed Cash on the video. That's all we talked about because I respect people, and homeless people that have street names like to be called by their street name. So his name was Cash. So I couldn't sleep. I was going through the videos. I saw his mom post that he had overdosed. I started searching the internet. I found his mom's Facebook. I found his Facebook, and I started scrolling through, and I saw family photos, and then his mom talking about, the night he died, and then going to visit his son. And it was truly heartbreaking. And if you guys haven't seen Cash's video, well, I got all prepared and now I messed it up, right? And so I'm going to put it's in the description for those that are watching the replay, but I just put it in the comments. Please share. And I don't care about views, but why I want you to share it is for what I'm going to talk about. And we're going to talk about addiction. It's the irony of Cash overdosing, being the musician that donated a song to my 25th birthday, sober birthday, doesn't escape me. It doesn't escape me at all. I know how lucky I am. Most people that are addicted to drugs don't get off like I did. And what I mean by get off, get sober like I did. I'm extremely lucky. I'm a Christian, and I call it a higher power, call it God, call it whatever you want, fate, miracle, whatever. I am just grateful and lucky that I am here today. I've had guns to my head many times. I used to try to kill myself with drugs. Oh my gosh. I mean, I literally would try to overdose and I never could. And then one time I remember laying I was crashing into homelessness, and at the time I had like a futon, but it was on the ground, and a futon mattress. And I remember I couldn't move to call 911, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm overdosing, and this time I didn't want to do it, right? I am lucky. I am so lucky that I am alive to be here with you guys. And we have to get to a place. So again, I'm talking from the heart, and there's a lot of emotions here because I'm really touched that Ryan donated that song, and I'm really heartbroken that he passed away. my plan was to look for Ryan. My plan was to connect with him when I did the next road trip or when I traveled and get to do his story. Even if he didn't want to be on Invisible People, I could just sit and learn more about him. He just looked like a really interesting person. I love the video. Again, I'm going to put it in the comments. It's in the description that, there's kids and there's dogs and, it's outdoors and it's really, really, really cool. So there's this thing in this country that we do to addicts. So first off, the reason people abuse drugs is to escape pain. And if we're going to treat addiction, you don't treat the drugs, you treat the pain. Let me repeat that. If we're going to treat addiction, you don't treat the drugs, you treat the pain. You've got to get at the root of why that person is doing drugs. It's a little more complicated than that, because once you start doing drugs, now you have a physical addiction. There could be things that you're doing to get drugs or while you're on drugs that cause more pain. So the cycle begins that now you're doing more drugs and more drugs just to keep the pain away. And now you get full on addict. I mean, there was a point in my life that I needed drugs more than I needed air. Point blank honest. I mean, my parents used to say all the time, well, why can't they just quit? It's not like you turn a switch. There was a point in my life that I needed drugs more than I needed air. Drugs took over my life. At first, it was fun. At first, I was masking pain, but then it took over my life. Thanks, Anonymous, and thanks, Anonymous. And in this country, and it started with, it's been going on for a long time, but, it was really amplified when Nancy Reagan, just say no. I don't know there was a punk band that that had a song called Just Say No to Nancy. Just say no to Nancy. Just say no to Nancy. That was, prisons are traded on Wall Street. You can invest in prisons, and a prison doesn't make money if it's empty. Prisons don't make money if it's empty. So Reagan in the 80s and the Republicans, I said, okay, look, we're not going to talk about Republicans now. We're going to talk about the 80s Republicans. Anyways, they launched this war on drugs because there was no war in Vietnam or no Korean War or no war where the war industry could make money, which is what America likes to do. So we launched the war on drugs so we could fill prisons, private prisons, and people can make money on the stock market. It had nothing to do with getting people off drugs. It had everything to do with making money. So now we have, the reason marijuana, there was a movie called Reefer Madness. The reason marijuana was illegal is Levi Strauss hemp makes better jeans than denim. So Levi Strauss, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a super rant. I'm going to explode. Levi Strauss lobbied to have marijuana illegal because the hemp makes better jeans than denim. So a plant that actually provides medicinal value to all of us, right? And hemp as a plant, when it's turned into denim or rope, turned into jeans and rope and cloth and I mean, it's a really an amazing plan. And Levi Strauss was, oh my gosh, they're going to take our money away. So let's lobby Washington. It's an evil drug. It's not. Marijuana is not an evil drug. But there's people in prison right now because. So here's what's happened. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Derek is exactly right. Hemp makes great rope. Let's say you're using drugs, you're abusing drugs, and you get arrested. Maybe even you're selling drugs and you get arrested. What happens? You get taken from your family and you get put into jail, right? So now it hurts you and hurts the family and creates more pain. Okay. And there's this thing in America where they say, oh, they're a drug addict. They deserve punishment, right? Look at Portugal. Portugal has legalized all drugs, all of them. It's legal. Drugs, addiction, HIV, everything has dropped significantly. Overdoses, everything in Portugal. It is what has happened is Portugal treats addiction as the health crisis it is. So if somebody gets caught selling drugs or doing drugs, they're put through a process of healing through the medical system, through the health system. They're not put in jail that destroys their life. Because then when you're out of jail, you can't get a job and you end up homeless, right? In New Orleans, this was a while ago. I haven't been to New Orleans in a while, but after Katrina, so many fathers had trouble feeding their families that they were doing crimes. Jails in Louisiana just got filled with, and mostly black men, just got filled with people being arrested for, crimes that were really, they're just trying to feed their families. So they looked at what was going on and it was destroying families, right? Now you have fathers in jail and kids with no fathers. So what did the state do? This is priceless. So the state, instead of realizing, oh my gosh, maybe we should have had welfare programs. Maybe we should be feeding these people. Maybe we should be doing something so these fathers don't have to commit crimes to feed their family. You know what the state did? They installed playgrounds in the jails and the prisons. They realized that there was a problem. They realized that all the fathers were now in jail because they were trying to feed their families. They realized that young men and women, young kids were growing up without their fathers, and it was causing more young adults to go down a path of crime. What did they do? Like, add more social services? No, they put playgrounds in the prisons, thinking that, okay, every couple of weeks the kid can go inside the prison and visit dad. So Richard Branson, I should have looked it up. Richard Branson's son did a great documentary about the war on drugs. There's a lot of information about the war on drugs and how it failed. And we, as voters, as Americans, and most everybody I'm sure in this chat room or watching this video later on has had somebody in your inner circle that has been negatively influenced by addiction. It could be an overdose. It could be somebody going to jail. It could be, who knows? We've got to get So I lost train of thought because Sherry asked a question. Are you saying every drug dealer was trying to feed their family? No, that's not what I was saying. In fact, that whole thing about feeding the family was about Katrina and fathers who were doing crimes like breaking into cars or breaking into stores. It had little to do with drugs, although there was some addiction. What I am saying is that anyone that is, you know, let me put it this way. Our response to addiction, our response to drugs is punitive, meaning we criminalize it. If you're caught with drugs, thanks, Billy. If you're caught with drugs or if you're caught with addiction, what we do is put you through a jail. We send you to jail or prison, and what the end result is that is lives are destroyed. And it actually creates more pain and it causes more addiction. And Portugal is a great example where they've legalized it. You don't go to jail. You smoking crack, you don't go to jail. You're shooting smack, you don't go to jail. What happens? You go to treatment. There's a health response. You don't go to jail, you go to treatment. You don't go to jail, you go to treatment. They're not trying to fill the prisons. Here, Ronald Reagan was trying to fill the prisons. And the prisons are filled with African American, Mexican American people that are, and whites too. The jails are filled with non-violent drug offenders. Filled. In New York City or in New York, it's $163,000 a year to keep a person in jail. You're paying for it. $163,000 a year. And while that person is in jail, when they get out, they can't get a job. I mean, punitive response to addiction destroys lives, and it's a complete waste of taxpayer money. The better response is a health response where you're saying, my gosh, why are you doing drugs? For me, it was the abuse that happened when I was a kid. It was the programming that I received as a kid that really, it was the pain that I was trying to push down. And drugs allowed me to not feel. So bringing it back to, hey, Larry, thank you. Bringing it back to Cash, you know, I'm watching other videos of Cash and I'm seeing photos, and I never met Cash. I only know the video that he did, right, for us, and I'm grateful. I just shared it again in the link. And maybe I'm reading into it, maybe I'm not. I don't know, but I saw pain. And if we had a system where we dealt with addiction as the health crisis that it is, instead of a punitive response of arresting people, Cash may be alive today. A lot of people may be alive today. We have to change our thinking in America. So the Republicans back in the 80s changed our thinking and started a war on drugs. The war did nothing but spend a bunch of money, which is what they wanted because they could fuel the war machine. They could fill prisons. That's what the war on drug was about. So Cash, thank you. Ryan, thank you. Ryan's mom, Ryan's sister, my heart goes out to you. Everybody that has been affected by addiction, it could be you like it was with me, or maybe a loved one or a coworker or a drunk driver or whatever. My heart goes out to you. But we have to stop thinking. I mean, it's the same. There's this thing, and this is an intentional transition, right? So how many of you saw the new mini documentary we put up where the Echo Park Lake community? I put a link in the description. How many of you saw it? It's a group of homeless people that are trying to survive in Echo Park. Ideally, they should not be there. There should be no homeless. They should be in housing, but there is no housing. So the cops come in because of Mitch O'Farrell and Mayor Garcetti, and they want to push people out, but there's no place for them to go. There's 80,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. Where are they going to go? So this is the 8th. I'll put it in there again. This is the 8th mini documentary that we have produced this year. And it probably has the most controversy out of anything. The when I posted it, all of a sudden, and it was on, not necessarily in the comments, although there was some, it was on Reddit and on, other sites. People were saying, oh, it's biased. You're not showing the drug addicts. You're not showing the needles. You got to show the needles. I'm trying not to swear. You know what? So in Los Angeles, NBC4, the local Channel 4 NBC affiliate, does a show called Streets of Shame. Streets of Shame, where all they do is show the needles. Have you seen Seattle's Dying? It's totally spun to show the needles. So all the world is doing is showing the needles. I went and showed humans, and I am lying? Oh my gosh, yes, there's needles in Echo Park. Yes, people have died. You know what? Over 1,000 people died last year. I think it's 1,032 or 1,036 in Los Angeles from homelessness. Addiction and overdoses are growing across the country. People are dying of drugs. Addiction is a problem. But the media and everybody portrays the people at Echo Park. Gosh, I hope this mic isn't distorting. I've been kind of screaming. My head's going to explode. It's going to be, let's talk Mark's aneurysm show. The people that live around the park, all they talk about, all they focus on are the needles and the addicts. And, they don't see the humans. These guys are taking donations and they're recycling, and they're paying homeless people to clean up the park. Did you see how clean that park is? It's an amazing model, right? It shouldn't even exist like that. It shouldn't, because they should all be in housing. But since they're not, it's an amazing model. And this is what, honest to God, what happened. I know Echo Park very well. I was homeless in that area. My ex-wife used to love them stinking paddle boats. I hate those paddle boats. My last job was one of my last jobs was I was marketing manager at and my office was in an office building overlooking Echo Park, and I would spend my lunchtime walking around Echo Park. I know Echo Park well. There's been several interviews in Echo Park, and I went and I started hanging out with the people at Echo Park, giving them socks. And the more I hung out, the more I saw this community. And I went, oh my gosh, This is really gorgeous. What you guys are doing is gorgeous. And nobody's talking about it. All they're talking about is the needles. All they're talking about is the overdoses, right? Nobody's talking about how they're hiring homeless people are hiring homeless people to clean up the garbage. That is amazing. And nobody's talking about it. So I decided to highlight it. And I am wrong. I'm being dishonest because all people want to see, what is it that all people want is to feed into their harmful paradigms, their harmful their harmful perceptions, their harmful beliefs. So they believe that all these homeless people are drug addicts. So when I show that they're not, or that some of them aren't, yes, there's drug addicts. There's drug addicts on the street, and there's drug addicts down the street from where you live. Our country views addiction as criminal, and it's not. Addiction is a response to pain. And we have to look at addiction, drug addiction, as a response in a healthcare framework. Does that make sense? Woo, man, I went for 30 minutes. That was kind of like a lean up rant, right? I was kind of like leaning up, and then the aneurysm started, and oh my gosh. Woo-hoo-hoo. How are y'all? Having fun? How's your Sunday night? So let me pay attention to the chat a little bit, say hello to everybody. Hopefully that made sense to some of you. I think there's a doctor, Gabor Mate, that is the leading expert on addiction. Hey, picking for a living. Maybe I'll play some of his video. God, I wish I could have him on. Oh my gosh. But he really, if you want to treat the addict, you got to treat the child in the addict, the child that was hurt is his thing. And it's really, 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 really amazing and eye-opening. Uh-oh, Addie is dying because your teeth are killing you? What'd I miss? Hey, Hannah. Hi, Amy. Hey, Megan. Yes, Megan, he is from the he started Insight, the downtown east side, one of my favorite places. Hey, Patches, how are you? Woof. Okay, some people, you guys have been great. I've been posting asking for questions on the community tab. You guys have been responding. Great questions. I can't get to them all. And hi, Janet. Thank you. Hey, all life. Right now, I wish I could slow down for an intern. Eddie, oh, I'm sorry. That's painful. Anything to do with teeth is painful. Hey, you can get a hoodie just like this. I don't do a lot of self-promotion. I'm not big on self-promotion. I got to do more, right? But under any of our videos, there's a merch shelf. I guess that's what it's called. Oof. Hey, how to help the homeless in America. I am in upstate New York currently, hopefully to get back to Los Angeles. Hey, Brandon. Wow, Renee, awesome. Oh, one can, thank you. Maria. You know what? I can use help. My problem is I can't slow down to teach somebody. Um, we've got to get there. I mean, Invisible People is growing. I really believe we will be able to hire me soon, which is amazing. Um, we've got a big research project launching. We surveyed almost 3,000 people, 2,500 people in 16 cities to on what America believes about homelessness. We're going to create a toolkit for policymakers to help end homelessness. Hi, INMTV. I don't know what UNC is. Creative Experiments. Yes. I forgot what his book is. I have it on Kindle. Life. I want to say the something about life and ghosts or something. Picking for a living. There might not be a merch link on this video, but if you look on any other videos, hey, Lady Dragonfly, woo! Lady T's in the house. Hey, Dogbox, thank you. I would love to get to Australia one of these days. Wow, Jill is also in Australia. Hello, hello. Tongum, hopefully I said your name right. South Pacific, where? Thank you, Hannah. Hey, Beastru, thank you. Lady Dragonfly, I feel better now that I got all that ran on. I mean, it was really uh really bothering me. This I've been thinking about cash dying and how this country just has a punitive response to addiction, which creates more addiction. Yeah, Billy, the SROs are, but that's the thing. One of the things that went away was housing like SROs for the working poor. A lot of it went away when communities got gentrified, and we got to figure out a way of bringing them back. Hi, Sharon. I don't know what you're talking about, so don't know why you're apologizing. No, I have not been to Gaslow, Ronald. Hey, Mike M. I was going to be in. I started off this year right in March. I was going to be in Baltimore, and then coronavirus got bad. Hi, Sharon. I didn't see your comments. I'm sorry. The chat goes by so fast. I miss a lot. Hey, Palaxmos. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Harrisburg. I don't know if you saw the video Corey Wanner did, which was awesome. Marit, hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you for the donation. You are awesome. Wow, Billy, yeah, the VA does a lot of good, but it's filled with so much bureaucracy. Hey, Ronald, yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. Today I shared in our homeless support group that I really want. I'm not going to throw away 25 years of sobriety, but I could really have used to escape today, right? What I can say is life is better sober. It's just better. I mean, you got to feel shit. That's the only bad part. But, that's how we grow. I used drugs to escape pain. I didn't want to feel that stuff, pain. So, I'm laughing. I think it was Maria said she takes a 15-minute escape at Starbucks. So Evan is asking, we're going to do this again. Evan is asking, why don't I send a GoFundMe for people in the videos? If you look at this video right here, Evan, there is a GoFundMe. Please go donate. If it's safe, if it's safe, if it's safe for the person to get money, if they want it. Sometimes people don't want a GoFundMe. I have offered. If they can set it up themselves, if they are able to log on to GoFundMe and create their own account and have a bank. Those are the three big ones. It's safe. They want it and they can set it up themselves. Then I will add a GoFundMe. But here's the thing, a GoFundMe. Somebody even asked me this last week, and I'm not going to rant about this because I rant about it every week. It comes up all the time. A GoFundMe just makes you feel better. Yes, it helps the person with like Dawn and her husband. They got into a hotel for a couple of weeks. That was amazing. It was a blessing. Thank you. Guess what? They're back outside living in a tent because GoFundMe, right, raised $8,000 for them over 2 months. And now they're probably getting $25 a week. That doesn't pay for anything. So it doesn't end homelessness. Our work is about ending homelessness. What we want you to do, the viewer, is to take actions to end homelessness for everybody. No, that's it. What Invisible People is trying to do is we're trying to make it so that we don't need GoFundMe accounts. GoFundMe is charity, and charity has never solved the social crisis. I do charity. I help homeless people all the time, from buying tires to some for homeless people in their car, to flying families across the country, to hotel rooms, to beds, to furnishing their apartments. You name it, I have done it. I hand out socks. I do mass barbecues. I take people out to eat. I give food, I give eyeglasses, I do everything I can to help homeless people. I don't talk about it all the time, but that seems to be what people want. They want that feel good moment. Are you giving them food? Are you giving them food? Are you giving them food? A sandwich isn't going to end homelessness. Let's get them out of the park so they can cook their own food in a kitchen. How about it? Oof, sorry. Hey, Italian King. Cool. Congrats on 2 years. Malka, hello. Wow. Uh, Sharon, I'm glad. It's just like this punitive response to addiction. The public just believes the response to homelessness is that you should give sandwiches, right? That you should give food. And you should. You should be taking care of the homeless people in your neighborhood. And you should be working to get them out of homelessness. What we do, what Invisible People does, is we work to end homelessness. We work to create policy change so nobody's homeless. Hey, thank you, Italian Kane. I think somebody else gave earlier. Oh, Anonymous. Anonymous, you seem to give a lot. Thank you. Thank you. I know that was, I have bad jokes. I know you guys are not here for my jokes. You're here because I rant. Oh my gosh, okay. Let me pick one because you guys did questions. Um, Picking for a living. I saw you donate tonight. I'm just picking. Your name is there. I'm not going to get in a place where people donate to get their questions read. But how about homeless in the wintertime? It's starting to get pretty cold. Now, what I did is I responded on the community section that homelessness during the wintertime does get a lot of attention. Where it doesn't get a lot of attention is summer. And like people are dying outside because of the heat. It's a serious crisis. When I do road trips, intentionally go to desert areas so I can focus on that because often people do the hyperthermia with homeless people in the winter. Where it is a serious crisis this year, totally different, and why I chose picking for a living's question is now because of COVID. I mean, in Oklahoma, I read, people are outside freezing. Shelters are now down to 25%. There's a wonderful, we have a friend that lives in a car with her daughter. She said in their city, the churches aren't open winter shelters. So in rural communities, what happens is homeless shelters will only open during the winter time, normally at night, and when it gets below a certain temperature. So usually it's 32 degrees. Like people aren't freezing at 40, okay? But they do a winter shelter and then they will open up when the weather gets cold. Well, in many rural communities, because of COVID, winter shelters aren't even opening up. And that's a serious crisis, and I don't have an answer for that. So when we went into COVID, the homeless sector started screaming that COVID's going to spread through the homeless community, and it still may. It just hasn't gotten as bad, and they were right in raising the red flag. Nobody knew, but what turns out a couple of things, and partly could be lack of testing. There's not a lot of testing in the homeless community, but it's safer for a homeless person to be outside in a tent than to be in a shelter. And that's great when it's 60 degrees outside. But when it's negative 19, and you're going to freeze to death, then that is a crisis. And what we have seen, so closing of bathrooms, lack of being able to panhandle because less foot traffic. There's been some significant issues that have hurt the homeless community, but none have been a serious huge crisis. but we're going into winter and COVID cases are going up and weather's getting colder and shelters aren't going to open up or they're cutting down. And that is a serious crisis. So thank you for the question. We're coming down to, maybe I'll try to get two more in, but I'm going to get one. So Bobby M asks, he says, I feel that searching for a solution to homelessness is hopeless. How do you, Mark, keep yourself from feeling that way? I love this question. Why I love this question is because I've changed a lot. And when I first started doing this, I remember saying, oh, we're going to end homelessness. We're going to end homelessness. I don't want to be in a game we can't win. We're going to end homelessness. And now we can end homelessness. We know how. We've known for a long time, but I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. And there's a bit of self-motivation. Now, I've gained 70 pounds. I mean, yesterday I ate way too much. So I've got 25 years sober, but Domino's 6 cheese double bacon pizza is still a problem for me. And I have health problems because of it. So that is my crisis. I've got to figure out a way of exercising more and eating less, or I'm going to die. Plain and simple. We've known this for a while. I lost some weight a while back, but then I gained it all back. So I'm saying that because I don't deal with it the best. I know I have literally a lady named Laviva Trim was one of my first outreach counselors or outreach boss. And she taught me that you have to have a tape in your head of the people you've helped, because there's so many that you're not going to be able to help. And that is so true. Thank you, Anonymous. And it's so true. I mean, and I have tapes there's one girl, she was probably 18, 19. She didn't speak much English. She was absolutely gorgeous. She came into the winter shelter, brand new to homelessness, in Los Angeles, because she was young, naive, and very, very attractive and desperate. The gangs would turn her out to be a sex worker rather quickly. And me and a coworker, I was doing outreach at the time, we did everything we could to help this girl. And we got her into a shelter and we got her, but so, and again, she didn't speak much English. And it was heartbreaking because I could tell she didn't trust. I mean, she had been abused, probably sexually abused. She'd probably been sexually abused. I'm sure physically abused, because she didn't trust. And, on the streets, when you're a young girl, young guy, it's pretty dangerous. I'm an old fat guy. No, it's still dangerous for me, but not as dangerous if you're a young, attracted young adult. And I remember it was like yesterday that I came back and my coworker had said, she left the shelter. And I went running down to find her, and she was out hitchhiking. And I did what I could. I mean, she didn't speak English. I didn't speak Espanol. And she's hitchhiking who knows where. And, I hope her life turned out okay. But that's one where I look back and I go, gosh, could I have done more? I don't think I could have. And there's so many of my homeless friends have passed away. So a couple of things to answer that, and that's a great question. A friend of mine, Liz Strauss, who also passed away this year. She was never homeless, but she was a very good friend. She got it out of me once. Is the one reason I have so much passion is I'm going to be homeless again. It's about 300,000% chance I will be on the streets. I'm turning 60. I got nothing. I'm going to go back to LA. I'm going to be scraping for rent like everybody else. And when I'm not able to hustle anymore, I'm going to be back out on the streets. It's as simple as that. And Liz got it out of me that probably why I have so much passion is I'm trying to end homelessness so I don't end up homeless. But there's another thing, I get this, and I'm going to end on this. I won't do another question. Sorry. We'll save them for next week, or I'm not spooky. I'm not one. I heard from God. I'm called. Well, if you're called, you can hang up the phone, right? I'm kind of forced. I get this feeling sometimes that if not you, who? And I'm not all that. I get people all the time, criticize me. Thank you, Anonymous. That, and really they're jealous. I'm like, you can do this. You can do what I do. You see a homeless person, you listen to their needs, you realize that a GoFundMe isn't really what they need. They need housing, and then you work to change policies so that you can end homelessness. It's not rocket science. That is what people need. And, I look at my life that, the Bible talks about as there's such a time as this. And every piece of my life, from being a marketer to being homeless, to being a television producer, to being this, to being that, to going to Southern Sudan in a war zone all these experiences have shaped me to be who I am, that I am able to aggressively work to change harmful paradigms. I realized early on that what Americans, and it's Canadians and it's people in the UK and every place, what they believe about homelessness, it's called individualism. They blame homelessness on the person. It's their fault. They made bad choices. Well, if homelessness was a punishment for bad choices, each and every one of us would be homeless. The leading cause of homelessness is the lack of affordable housing. There's millions upon millions of households now at risk. The House Democrats passed in May the HEROES Act to provide support. Unemployment ran out July 31st because the Republican-led Senate let it run out. Now the Republican-led Senate has done nothing, and they just went on break to November 9th. Families will be evicted. Families will have their power and their lights shut off. Families with children do not have food. Families with children are in food banks and going to food banks in long lines right now because they don't have food. And it's going to get worse. Entire industries and the Republican-led Senate has stalled on pandemic relief. It's as if they do not care about us. I totally lost. So invisible people, I've never made a penny. Hopefully soon we'll be able to hire me. I've never made a penny from invisible people. I work doing other jobs, and pandemic killed every way I can make money. Thing is, there's 23 million people are unemployed right now. And there's more industries that are going to shut down. Movie theaters, Disney, The list goes on and on. Airlines are probably going to lay off 45,000 people. It's really bad. And getting back to what my original point was, so invisible people is independent. Now, yeah, there's parts of that. I wish some foundation would sweep in and give us lots of money so we could do more. But when you get lots of money, it comes with strings and they try to control you, right? So I can be honest. When I see something that is wrong in the homeless sector, I can, there's a saying that you cannot effectively advocate for the marginalized while still remaining friends with the powerful. Let me say that again. You cannot continue to fight to end homelessness and still be friends with the people that create homelessness or are stuck on stupid, creating bureaucracy that blocks quick solutions to homelessness. So I am in this unique position that I can be honest. And thanks to you guys, we're able to reach a lot of people and we're creating change. So I sometimes get this feeling, if not you, who? If not you, who? Seriously, if I die tomorrow and I've made in the last 2 years, it's called succession planning. There is a contingency plan that invisible people will continue, but there's big parts of what we do that are not going to be the same, which is me really screaming, saying, we've got to help these people. They need more than a sandwich. They need more than a blanket. A GoFundMe doesn't do shit. We need to help these people. We need to end homelessness. We need to end poverty. We need to fix the criminal justice system. We need to fix the broken foster care system. We need to create some kind of health structure so that people that think, I don't know how to say it, domestic violence sucks. We've got to stop domestic violence. We got to fix the affordable housing crisis. That's what we need to do. We don't need more GoFundMes. We need to make sure that people in America have rent, can cover some bills like a bus pass and food and a phone bill, and that they're safe and have health care. That's what we need, not a GoFundMe. So, thank you for the question. I've gone over. I have gone over, but you guys are awesome. So, let's see. We're going to, now that I have my laptop back, hopefully I thought it was skipping a little bit last week, the picture. Guys, vote. I won't tell you who to vote for because it's your God-given right to vote, but vote. For me, I vote for whichever side really actually cares about us. Us. You, us. So vote. And let me see. I'm going to post it one more time. Here's the Echo Park video. There's a link for all the mini documentaries. They're all great. You can go binge watch them. So, but this one, people are really, they're getting on me, not necessarily in the comments, but on other sites like Reddit, because I didn't show the needles. All them. So we got that. Now, thank you to Addie and Derek for being the best moderators on a YouTube stream. They are awesome. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, really, this month, invisible people's donations from most of our donations are $5, $10 donations. And we received more love this month than ever before. And the pandemic is going on and people are hurting. What that means is we're going to be able to grow. We're working on educational content for schools, for teachers to use to teach on homelessness. We have this amazing report coming out. Hopefully next year, we're already starting to work on a road trip we're going to do this year. I went into this year before COVID planning 5 mini documentaries. We had a sponsor. When COVID hit, the sponsor stopped because their budget got cut. We ended up doing eight mini documentaries. Go check out the link if you want more. Here, I'll put one more time. The latest. And there is a GoFundMe. You know what's funny is that, like in Dawn, there's a GoFundMe. Derek, there's a GoFundMe. There is GoFundMe links, right? But go hit it. Go hit it. These guys are really doing something great in Echo Park. For all of you, this is going to be a rough week. I just feel it. I feel, I'm emotionally preparing for the worst. We're seeing already businesses boarding up. Walmart stopped selling guns and ammunition. That's huge. I'm 59 years old. Never in my life, hey, thank you, Dan Brown. Never in my life have I seen so much hatred and negativity and violence connected to an election. This is not America. It's not. I haven't been sleeping. It's very disturbing. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. I really believe it's concerning. I love this country. I believe you love this country. But if you look at what's going, and I'm not, both sides are stuck on stupid, but we've been going down a path for many years, and most definitely in the last 4 years, where violence is increasing, where we don't talk, we don't compromise, we just hate. We hate the lefties, we hate the conservatives, we hate the liberals, we hate the Republicans, we hate the Democrats. We're all Americans. And thank you, Anonymous. We've got to get back to, and I don't know how that's going to happen, no matter who wins. I don't know how we're going to get back to. We've got to get back to where values like integrity, honesty, compassion, we've got to get back to where we take care of our neighbors, where we care about people, where we don't bully people. We've got to get back to America that stands up for truth and justice, real justice. We don't even know what's truth anymore. We live in a post-truth world. People have accepted Trump's dishonesty so much that, anyways, I said the T word. It's time to go. I promised myself I wasn't going to do that, but I did. And I am not going to apologize. You guys, thank you for another wonderful Sunday night. Thank you for supporting this important work. There is a really neat surprise coming up in November, December. I can't tell. There's a lot of great stuff, but there's one that's going to be mind-blowing, and I can't tell you guys about it. I just can't. It's a shh. As it gets closer, maybe I will. I'll see if I can, but right now I can't. Anyways, have a great week. Thank you, Addie. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, everybody that wrote questions. Thank you, everybody that engaged in the chat. Please stay safe this week. See you next Sunday.